Hello, everyone. It's me, Andrew. I'm here in my home in lovely Ligonier, Pennsylvania. I'm a little bit tired. I have to be honest and say that I spent a lot of work to make these little paintings. There's 100 of them, and I've been working pretty solidly um, on them. So I'm pretty tired, but um, yeah, it's nice. I always enjoy these, even if I am tired and it is exhausting. I enjoy making them. If you don't know what I'm talking about, I took a blacksmithing class recently at the Center for Metal Arts in Johnstown, Pennsylvania. I worked with the wonderful Elizabeth Brim, and part of the reason why I could take that workshop was because of an educational scholarship from the Society of Inclusive Blacksmiths. So that was really awesome. And while I was working, I kind of realized that I wanted to keep going with my education with the blacksmithing and that I needed a couple of different pieces of equipment and materials to continue that. So I was like, how am I going to do that? And so I decided to do another one of these 100 series projects where I create 100 small scale, affordable pieces of artwork, and the sales of those go directly towards making all of that possible. I kind of had a hustle because there's only two spots left in that one workshop that I wanted to take, and I think it's down to one. So I'm getting nervous because I don't want to rush too much. I am rushing in some ways. Normally, I kind of would just I work in a very pollinator-esque sort of way where I flip from one project to the next. And I have different stations set up, and I kind of pollinate here and then go over to this project and pollinate a little bit here and then do that. But the problem with that kind of technique is that it doesn't result in instant satisfaction, gratification. Like it takes a while to get things done. And also doing it that way, like when it gets done, then I have a ton of stuff done. It looks like I was super, super duper productive. And I was like, I got 20 things done. But really, um, this is a very different kind of way of working for me. So this is not going to be the most entertaining of updates or check-ins because I don't really have that much to show you. Like it we checked in at 6 o'clock, or excuse me, we checked in at 5 o'clock and left off at 6 o'clock, and it took pretty much all 2 hours just to put on the layers of that went on top of these layers. So not really that much to show, and everything's kind of set out and drying right now. So not too much progress to report. Besides, I mean, it's a lot of work. It's a lot of work to go one at a time and do that. Um, but not. It doesn't look like I did anything, even though I spent the whole time kind of hunched over painting these or coding each of these, and it doesn't really look like anything. So maybe not the most exciting of check-ins, but I did want to say that I'm going to keep going. Um, and I was debating about whether or not to do more check-ins tonight once the pieces have dried. Um, but I don't know. Maybe I'll do a check-in tomorrow morning and we'll go from there because I sort of feel like if I keep stopping, I'm not going to make too much more progress, at least not in any kind of like, I won't be able to make like really defined progress. I need to just like buckle down and start working and kind of dip into that Zen mind space and just kind of get into the flow. I will say that I'm very pleased with how things are working. So one of the things that you may have noticed, I've been sneaking into some of the mixtures I've been making is this Chroma crackle. I've also been working with this crackle paste from Golden. Of course, I love Golden products. Not we're not sponsored by Golden, but I would not be mad if we were. But I've been mixing that into things, and it takes a couple days for it to completely dry, for that crackle effect to happen. And I've noticed on a couple of the pieces where I haven't diluted it too much, it's been real subtle, but it's been there. So it's nice. It's another little layer upon in the layers. And I don't know how much is going to be visible at the end when I finish these. But yeah, Marianne says, tomorrow morning works for me. My bedtime is 11 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Yeah, so in other news, I finished the latest, well, in the series um, of books, the latest Dresden File, Proven Guilty. It's pretty good. It's much longer than the other books, which I didn't realize. I was like, how come this book is taking so much longer to get through? And it's like twice as long as some of the other ones. So it's like, oh, that's why, because it is longer. Um, which is not necessarily bad. Sometimes it's good to kind of have a book and kind of get lost in it. I think the next book that I'm going to listen to is called The Change by Kristen Miller. She wrote Circe and Achilles, Song of Achilles, I think. And that came up in my library feed, and I like her writing style, so I think um, I'm gonna listen to that next. Marion says, I like long books, lol. I do too, but sometimes it's hard for me because sometimes what I'll do is I'll put on a book on tape if I know it is this many hours long, and then I'll work until it's over. And then it's kind of like okay, go home, go to sleep, it's time to go to bed. Um, and when I kind of forget that, or I'm listening to a long book, I kind of just it doesn't that kind of school bell action doesn't happen. So I just keep working, and then I get thunderstruck. So I like long books too, and especially like long books and long series, especially if I'm in love with the world that they're creating. But sometimes it's kind of dangerous. So, yeah. Anyways, I just mentioned that if you're curious what stage I'm at, I finished half of these last night, coding those. And then in between our last live and this check in, I coded them with a layer that's a translucent, transparent layer that you really can't see. So it doesn't really look like I did anything. And they're currently drying. So, yeah, I think I might pop on, but we'll see. All right. That was super quick. I know we're used to like dishing the tea and throwing down and talking for hours. But I kind of want to get back into it. And I'm going to get uh, another work surface. So I've basically taken over the living room, and every surface is covered in all these little tiny paintings, which is kind of cool to see them all laid out like that. I have this great big sheet of cardboard that was used to prevent the tabletop from an IKEA table from getting scratched. And I kind of use that to protect the carpet and whatever, because generally speaking, I work on the floor while I'm doing these, which is not good for my back, but I can spread out that way. So, yeah. All right. I'll check in sometime. If not tonight, then tomorrow. And definitely keep an eye on my Instagram stories. That's Andrew Thornton Artist, and that's Thornton. Don't forget the N in there. And I'll post some updates on my stories as I work, because it's easy for me to take like a quick picture or a little quick video, 14-second video. It's harder when I have to like stop and like talk and make some kind of sense. Marion says you can't finish if you don't work at it. Correct. Exactly so. I can't get anything done if I don't do anything. So I can talk about it. We can talk about it. If y'all want to just buy these ones just like this, no. It needs a little bit something to jazz it up. And I've got a couple ideas. A lot of this is trial and error. I have ideas of how things come together, and for the most part, I've done this enough times that I can get predictable results. But as far as the finished pieces themselves, I don't actually know how they'll turn out, and I don't know. So we'll see. All right. Well, I will talk to you all later. If it's not tonight, then tomorrow. All right. See ya.